We've really been focusing on building the business, making sure that when customers are coming back after COVID, that we've got a much stronger business in terms of focusing on customer needs that we're addressing and the solutions that make the whole kind of proposition of rail travel better, not just safer.
Hello and welcome to the 25 Days of Transformation series, where we talk to industry experts and global brands about the highs and lows of digital transformation. We'll learn from real-world business examples, get first-hand industry insights from the digital experts, and we'll take a deep dive into what trends to look out for in the coming months. I'm Tizzy Philp, Strategic Content Lead here at Valtech, and I'm here to guide you through these conversations and to uncover the latest and greatest in digital.
It would be safe to say that we are getting more accustomed to news of digital innovations in the automotive sector. In this series alone, we've heard from BMW, Valtech Mobility, and Toyota Financial Services about how they are accelerating their autonomous, e-mobility, and new D2C business model ventures to deliver a new standard for the future of the sector. We're less used to talking about the digital innovations around the rail sector. Of course, we've looked and worked with a number of global rail firms over the years. But today we're going to be talking about concepts like the station of the future, reimagining how travellers will experience their digital and physical journeys from now on. I'm very happy to be joined by Adrian Varma, Head of Digital Experience and Innovation at London North Eastern Railway. For those less familiar with the brand, LNER is a UK-based train operating company owned by the Department for Transport and provides long-distance intercity services on the East Coast Main Line from London's King's Cross to the North East and Scotland. Adrian, it's great to have you here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
First of all, perhaps we could set some context then around your role, what you're responsible for, and how that fits into the wider LNER organisation.
So I work in the Digital Directorate at LNER. About 18 months ago, as we kind of transitioned from Virgin to LNER under the government, we formed a Digital Directorate within the wider organisation. And previously, digital kind of had sat in either the commercial team or customer experience kind of ops. And really the kind of goal was to bring together real focus around digital, being a business that's been around for quite some time, focused on customer experience. We have lots of legacy kind of challenges when it comes to kind of digital and systems. So we formed a department that is really focused around digital so that we can raise the bar in terms of bringing the railway into the 21st century and beyond. So my team looks after digital experience, which essentially is the kind of strategy that runs through all of our digital channels. So looking after UX and also engagement and change, actually, in terms of how we work with the rest of the business around delivering some of these projects and the impact on our people and systems. And then also innovation itself. So digital innovation, really looking forward into the future and thinking about what we need to be doing today to get us to our vision, which is obviously kind of a moving feast in the future. We also have a digital products team. So previously, e-commerce would have sat in commercial, and now from a product perspective, this real focus around the systems and products that touch our customers and our people to try and remove siloed working. We've got a digital delivery team who are focused around supporting our pipeline of projects to make sure that we can deliver on time and to budget. We've got a whole team that's dedicated to using data that we could have across the business, bringing that all into one place and looking how we can leverage that for the good of our people and our customers. And also solution architecture. So previously in the rail industry, there's been some good decisions, some bad decisions when it comes to solutions and system architecture. So we're very focused now on building in the right way, open systems that can interact with wider industry systems so that we're building things, thinking about not just our own business, but the industry in general. So that's the digital team at LNER.
Oh my goodness. So we have a lot to talk about. Let's dig a little bit deeper into LNER's ambitions then. What have you got directly on the roadmap for the coming years? And then as an extension to that, I'm also really interested to know how being a government-owned organisation is influencing or impacting those ambitions.
Yeah, so first of all, so I joined the business in March. It's the first time that I've worked in the public sector, so I wasn't quite sure what it was going to be like, kind of, working for an organisation that ultimately is owned by the government. I would say that there is real focus on the customer, and actually all of the work and world that I would associate with Virgin has transferred across to the new business. But building on that, backed by the government, we've been able to really invest in the right areas. And because we're kind of government owned, we've been able to make decisions that are absolutely right for the customer. So that's kind of been quite refreshing for me. And more than that, we've got a really progressive executive and board that have really supported innovation within the business. So as a result of that, we've got a really exciting pipeline of projects. But my focus as I joined was really to create a roadmap for the digital team and the wider business that basically took all of the challenges, the problems for our people to deliver an amazing experience for our customers, and then obviously kind of from our customer facing elements. So, what understanding kind of what our customers need and ultimately prioritizing that to kind of create some of that stuff. So yeah, so now, coming to the end of the calendar year, we've delivered a huge amount of stuff, which has been really exciting. We've kind of ran a whole host of proof of concepts that some have worked, some haven't, and then now we're focusing on productionizing those that have been really successful. But the major achievement I think this year is has been really creating our digital blueprint, which has helped crystallize our vision around where we want to get to in 5-10 years time, but then also give us a roadmap to be able to start working on projects today that lad us up to that.
Amazing. So you've just touched on this blueprint then for the next 5 years. Let's go into more about that and how you've gone about setting the prioritization process here, because I imagine that's been pretty complicated.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it was. We worked with Valtech actually to create our roadmap, and I was saying that you wouldn't build a house without a really kind of solid plan to kind of follow. So our blueprint really builds on a piece of work that we did under Virgin, which was called the Ideal Customer Experience. And essentially, it looks at the whole end-to-end journey. So a customer and tracking them through, the whole journey. So from realization, so before somebody realizes they need to travel by train or whatever mode, but they realize they have to go somewhere to do something, right through the various journey stages to post-travel. We held a whole kind of host of design hacks and workshops to get to the bottom of all of the challenges across the business. So every day we're kind of surveying customers that are traveling with us to understand what they think of us, so their kind of net promoter score, and that looks at various elements of the business. We also kind of do periodic research to understand what kind of needs do our customers have? How does that change by occasion type? And we've done a huge amount of work to segment our customers and build out personas off the back of that. So we used all of that kind of previous research and brought that kind of into the blueprint process. We also looked at our competitors. So I'm not sure if people are familiar, but we don't really have that many rail competitors. Our main competitor really is the car and also planes, between kind of London and Scotland. So we've done quite a lot of work to look at the automotive industry, kind of like the airlines, and looking at their 5-10 year innovation roadmap, so that we're really considering that as we plan our own business in response. And as I mentioned, we started this process in March, April time. And with COVID, it meant that a lot of our frontline colleagues were at home. So we kind of really utilised, we had access to people that we probably wouldn't have had access to previously to bring into our workshops, which we're really fortunate for. And then from those workshops, we went into concepting. So we built out a whole host of concepts and solutions, over 75 solutions actually across the whole customer journey, which we then tested those concepts with customers and also our people on the ground. So a really, really comprehensive piece of work, which we've then been able to take forward and prioritise. So I'd say we kind of prioritised around COVID. So we saw customers really fall off as lockdowns took place. We've really been focusing on building the business, making sure that when customers are coming back after COVID, that we've got a much stronger business in terms of focusing on customer needs that we're addressing and the solutions that make the whole kind of proposition of rail travel better, not just safer.
You mentioned there having to work around COVID. And I think we've seen across most of our sectors, and retail stands out in particular, that we need to consider new ways of engaging consumers in light of recent disruptions. So whether that's COVID or whether that's something else, we've been seeing touchless interfaces being a key example here. How important has embedding innovation into the organisation been to LNER? And do you think the COVID crisis has actually acted as an accelerator here or changed your approaches?
Yeah, no, undoubtedly. So I think going into COVID, it was really clear to see that this would have some significant impact on not just our business, but consumers in general. And, I can say that we've seen about 10 years worth of change over the course of 9 months, which has been phenomenal. But, we can have been really optimistic about that. And, it's enabled us to provide real focus to make sure that we have accelerated, I'd say, the plans that are already there around those new needs. And you mentioned, a few there: contactless, digitally enabled, so all the things that were really important to our customers beforehand, like having more control, greater automation to free up their time to have more time with the customer facing elements of their roles, have been prioritized. We reacted really quickly, and actually the blueprint work that we're doing in parallel really helped prioritize which digital projects to bring to the top. And we were able to move really quickly as a result. So we brought in mandatory reservations on our trains. We were the first train operator in the UK to do that. That essentially means that anyone traveling can, make sure they have a seat, which was absolutely vital with social distancing, to make sure that we have kept our customers safe. And also, adoption of CCTV analytics. So taking the CCTV feeds that are collected across all of our stations and analysing them for COVID. So our people in Newcastle, for example, could see how many people entering the station were wearing PPE, or how effective our one-way systems were, or signage in the right place in terms of crowd control. Social distancing as well. So we could see in stations where there were hot spots in the stations where people were breaching the 2 meter distancing. And it allowed us to then make changes to the business at station level to make sure that we kept our people and our customers safe. Looking ahead to spring, there's a huge amount of innovation now that is actually gone from proof of concept and is now being productionized and will make a really big impact for our customers.
Yeah, that's so exciting, and so much to come. Obviously, I'm excited to see what the future of the train journey looks like. What is the project you see as having had the biggest impact then and change for customers for next year?
We were able to do a proof of concept around at-seat ordering during lockdown. So again, it came out of our blueprint work, where obviously we live in a world now where we can have our lunch and dinner delivered to us with Deliveroo and Just Eat and a whole myriad of food delivery services. So we found it really odd that we were still expecting our customers to wait in their seat and purchase from a trolley or leave their goods and go to the shop. So we launched ordering at seat on board. I think it was 3 weeks into COVID actually, and the trial that we ran was incredibly successful. Our customers loved it. We're seeing 95% satisfaction scores, and our people really responded to it as well. They saw the impact from our customers, and they've really got behind it, and that now is being rolled out more broadly. So from December 14th, it's going to be trialed across all of our services across the East Coast. So that's something that will probably be rolled out into next year. And then also looking ahead, so we've known for a long time that the lack of an end-to-end customer proposition has been a real barrier to rail, and that's the bit to and from the train station. So we've done quite a lot of research in this area in terms of trying to understand our headroom. We feel that we're turning away about 6 million journeys a year because we don't have an integrated and easy way for our customers to book and plan their journeys all in one go. Because, of course, a customer isn't travelling from a train station to a train station. They're going from their home or the office to a business meeting or a hotel. As a result of that, we're bringing in LNER mobility service. So customers will be able to book micromobility through to e-scooters and bikes, through to ride-hailing and taxis or car rental, all as part of their train journey into next year. And who knows, maybe in a couple of years' time, we'll be thinking ourselves less of a train company and more of a mobility business.
That's so weird that you say that. Not weird, interesting, but I didn't want to say interesting 100 times on this podcast. It is all interesting. But we've spoken to loads of automotive companies on this series who've said exactly the same thing. We're transitioning from an automotive company to a mobility company. And the other thing that's good to talk about is such a good point that you make about this end-to-end customer proposition that you haven't seen in rail before. So we've worked with airlines for a long time where it's been all about that full experience from the moment that you book your journey to leaving your house to your experience within the airport, your experience in the air to when you land to when you arrive at your destination, that full end-to-end journey that also then results in the loyalty and the brand affinity and getting people to come back to you time and time again. When it comes to the business then and the organizational challenges, how has digital helped you to transform? And what are you really excited about? What do you see as being the future for rail companies?
The best asset within our business is our people. So the people that serve our customers kind of in stations and on board. And by taking a step back and by kind of creating our blueprints, we've been able to, obsess about every element of our people's roles and also the things that our customers have to do and the touch points that we have with them. So I'd say we're customer obsessed and people obsessed. By kind of doing that process and really understanding where those pain points are and starting to address them, I'm super excited about what that then brings for the future. And there's a lot of manual process within kind of some of our people's roles, certainly, on the front line. A lot of the focus is really about stripping all of that away from them, automation of really kind of mundane things so that their time is better served facing our customers and being able to deliver a great experience. Retailing systems is also a real opportunity for us. So we're very fortunate that we control our own back-end retail platforms. And as a result of that, we've been able to have much more control around the customer-facing solutions, around kind of booking and planning, journey information to customers when things go wrong. So being able to talk to them in real time to kind of preempt challenges for them, and also giving our people that information, in the palm of their hands on their devices they've got, again, to deliver a much better experience. So, retailing is a really important kind of growth area for us. Information, certainly when things go wrong, and also fares and ticketing. So we're doing a huge amount to make kind of fares much, much simpler. And I think the biggest opportunity looking forward is thinking less about LNER as a business and thinking about actually all the kind of challenges that we now know kind of exist. They don't just exist for our own business, they exist for all rail businesses in the UK. So we're doing much more now, kind of working with other train companies, Northern, for example, who kind of intersect on our route, and others, to think about how we can build solutions for the good of the customer and good of our people are much more kind of industry focused rather than various different train companies doing that and replicating that efforts across the UK. So I think closer working as an industry for the good of our customers and our people is really where I'm most excited about in the years to come.
Adrian, we've covered so much content there and we're at our time. So I have to stop, but I would really love to keep talking about all of this. And I'm genuinely, dare I say it, interested and excited to hear what comes next and to see what comes next. And as a UK citizen, to experience what comes next as well. So thank you so much for joining us and for talking to us. And good luck for the new year.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You've been listening to the 25 Days of Transformation series from Valtech Cafe. If you enjoyed this podcast, then why not subscribe and keep up to date with all of the episodes in this series and a whole host of insights from the Valtech Cafe back catalogue. And if you'd like more information about what we do or to get in touch, why not visit us at valtech.com to find out the details. Until next time, thanks for listening.